All right, some of you guys have asked me what are my thoughts on the new Mustang, the S650, and I want to share with you guys just my thoughts. I've owned Ford Mustang Bullitt 2020. I love that car, other than the transmission. But let me share with you guys my thoughts on Mustang Week, the reveal, the marketing, how it compared to Dodge, what are some things to expect from the upcoming model, and just overall my thoughts in general. So honestly, the first thing that jumped out at me with the reveal this past week was just how different Ford did this than Dodge. And it wasn't as flashy, it wasn't as sexy, it wasn't as cool. But what Ford did a really good job of, in my opinion, is they brought out frontline workers, they brought out YouTubers, they brought out influencers, they brought out like people. The one girl who spoke, I think she was several generations down the line of working at the Ford assembly plant. And, they did customer testimonials. They showed people, starting in Washington, driving all the way out to Detroit for the show. One thing that was interesting is they definitely took a shot at maybe Dodge or Chevy, and they said, well, some are closing the curtain on these types of cars. We're just opening it. And I love that. I thought that was an awesome marketing line, and it really stood out to me. So what was different is you didn't see the CEO of Ford speaking. You didn't see like the spokesman. Now, in comparison to Dodge, Tim Kuniskis does a really good job speaking. Their marketing is just flashier, it's sexier, it's better. But what Ford instilled into me is I was like, hey, they get it. Some of the guys come out wearing a manual transmission t-shirt. They get it. As you look at the heritage of Ford, I think their marketing, even though it wasn't as sexy or as flashy, it nailed it because they understand their consumers. They understood their target audience. And what's interesting is Ford, even though this might be the last gas-powered Mustang, let's hope not, is going to capitalize on a market where the Camaro is kind of undecided, probably not going to continue on. Dodge, owned by Stellantis, is kind of going by what they want, and EPA and other things. And so that was just really the thing that stood out to me is Ford's heritage, their lineage, and understanding what their customers want. And I just think that was something that just stood out to me that, I was like, okay. And honestly gave me hope as a car enthusiast. So to the Mustang, do I like it? For me, need some more time to kind of look at it. But at the end of the day, manual transmission. Here's my thoughts on the manual transmission. With the new Dark Horse model, that's going to get a Tremec. They announced it. But if the lower trim levels, the GT, let's say the EcoBoost, if they were to get a Tremec, I think they would have announced it. So hopefully, and what I'm hearing is maybe they've made revisions to that MT82. Hopefully they've made it better. What's cool is, the new Mustang, the GT, it's going to pump out probably at least 480 horsepower. And the Dark Horse, it's going to be well north of 500, which is freaking sweet. I didn't expect that from Ford because their last iteration of Mustang, they went down like 5 or 10 horsepower. So not only are they getting manuals, the interior, which I never, with my Mustang, other than the digital gauge cluster in my Bullitt was awesome. But the rest of it was just kind of mediocre. With a full LED screen that you can get all the way across, I thought it was pretty cool, pretty slick. I like a lot of the changes. I like the throwback to the Fox body gauges, which I think is pretty sweet. A lot of you out there have been commenting that it looks just like a Camaro, and there's a lot of resemblance to the Camaro, but hey, why not? It's a sexy car, and if Camaro's going away, hey, all I care about is that they're carrying the torch forward. They're making V8s, so they're making manuals. But, for me, Ford won a few points this week. I feel like they understand their consumers, and they're trying to make cars based on that. One thing that I thought was interesting and unique, and I also think this is a stab at some of the other manufacturers, and Dodge, you guys will know what I'm talking about, is every single one of the new Mustangs, whether it's the EcoBoost, whether it's the GT, whether it's the Dark Horse, they all have a different front fascia. They have a different front grille, so you can hopefully distinguish them a lot better. The Dark Horse gets its own badge, then obviously you have the GT, and then, they have the performance in the back of the GT. But, the sounds on startup from Rady Rides and others, it sounds awesome. I love the sound of my Bullitt Mustang. It sounded awesome. I initially, I really like it. I'm curious to see where some of the pricing gets to. I really like that with Ford, because where I think Chevy did a really good job is all the different options that you can customize your cars with. And what I'd like that Ford did is your Brembo brakes, you can customize them. I think having some blue Brembos would be sweet, especially with white paint or black, I think would look awesome. I like that they're incorporating more features, more technology. Something that's cool, and once again, how Ford understands their consumers. And I assume this is just for the automatics. It'd be awesome if they could do it for the manual, but from your key fob, you can rev up the car. Because that's really what people get V8s for. They want to rev them. They want to rev them out. They want to hear the V8. They want to hear all those sounds. And so at the end of the day, did Ford just kind of change a couple things to the car? Yeah, exterior wise, they have to kind of keep still the light setup and everything. And they refined the front grille. I don't know if I like the front end as much as a previous model. I need more time to kind of see it, but overall I liked what I saw. I like the directions Ford's going. I think it's smart. If they increased horsepower, it's a good move. Manual transmission, good move. Overall, I didn't think it was like, their host messed up kind of in talking. But overall, it just felt more genuine. And at the end of the day, here's where I think Ford is now separating itself from Dodge. Is Dodge, what really has put Dodge on the map, other than making really good cars and Hemis and all of that, is their marketing has outshined everybody. It really has. It's been more polished. It's been sexier. It's getting you to believe something. It's getting you to buy into the hype. Now, I think Dodge has ran out of gas in the tank when it comes to marketing, when it gets people to just want that next thing. And now Ford's just stepping in, just saying, hey, this is who I've always been. And I love the new Mustang. I think it's sweet. The Dark Horse, sure, I would like one. I have a feeling, though, if you look at the Mach 1 prices, where those got up in the 60s, this car is going to be expensive. And for me, it's not going to be an option. I'd much rather go get a ZL1 in the mid 60s with a manual transmission with a supercharger. That would be sweet. It does look on the Dark Horse that they're doing dual throttle bodies, which is definitely gonna, pump up the horsepower. The previous Mach 1 was at 480 horsepower, and I think the previous GT was at 450, 455. But yeah, they've, from what they've said, they didn't give us any specific numbers, but it sounds like the GT is gonna be pumping out 480. So it's exciting, guys. I liked everything that I saw, and I wasn't expecting them. I was expecting them that, hey, these are our new Mustangs. Yeah, you got the EcoBoost, and if you guys haven't driven an EcoBoost, I almost bought one a couple years ago. They're actually pretty fun. They're pretty fast, over 300 horsepower, especially with the automatic. It moves pretty good. I wasn't expecting them to roll out like a totally new like Dark Horse model, which time will tell as people drive them, as they see them. But overall, I thought it was a good move, and I thought it was a good week for Dodge. It's a shame that we're at where we're at, and that Chevy and Dodge is kind of going by the wayside. But hey, Ford might as well capitalize. It'll be interesting seeing what these cars are priced at. But I think they're going to be pricey. I think GT's probably going to start, even just at lower trim level, probably mid to higher 40s, in my opinion. I think that Dark Horse is going to push mid 60s to low 70s, which at that price point, give me a ZL1 every day of the week. But anyways, guys, those are my quick thoughts, my quick impressions. What did you guys think of the new Mustang? Would love to get your guys' take on it. Would love to get your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys aren't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Heck, hit the dislike button. I don't care. It just helps get these videos out there. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.